Welcome back. It's the JAB show. We're talking about the 4 stages you could take in your life to make you an extraordinary human being that God made you to be. We talked about 2 stages. The first stage is the culture scape, is the victimhood stage. And it's the world you met. It's the world around you. Then suddenly an awakening takes place. How does it take place? Sometimes it's spiritual, and then we could talk about a lot of other things about how that awakening can take place. But the awakening is the world you choose. The culture scape is the world around you, the world you were given, the world you met. But the awakening is the world you choose. It's the world you choose for yourself in terms of how you're going to run your life. I made that choice. A lot of people, thousands and millions of you have made that choice, and you're seeing the benefits. And so sometimes I stop arguing with those who will still be telling me, no, not to me, they're in charge, now God, they're in charge, then I'm not sent to you. This message is not for you. If up to this point you're still arguing, I'm done arguing. I have results. There are people with thousands of results, around millions, tons of results to show that this is how life works. And those are the ones I want to listen to. The awakening. To just realize that, you could actually bend reality. You could actually bend reality. The third stage, he says, Vishen Lakiani, looking at the book, The Code of the Extraordinary Man, he says you can recode yourself. You can recode yourself. So from victimhood to awakening, then how do I begin to recode my mind? How do I begin to change the content of what is in my mind? And there are several approaches to this. Recalibrating your own world from within. And as a Christian, I could only tell you my own experience, how I was able to record my life with the contents, the materials that I consume, that makes me realize my life is not just about what happens in planet Earth, but there are forces above nature. There are forces beyond the conscious. There are forces beyond what we see that we have to be able to connect with. A lot of what happens on the face of this earth is controlled by what happens in that realm, in the spiritual realm. So recoding your mind to be able to know there are those forces there and be able to connect with it. It's a next stage. It's a spiritual stage. The next stage is a spiritual connection. And as I was saying this, a thought that came into my mind somebody would say, well, you just said it. There's a spiritual forces, a set of spiritual forces that controls what is happening here. Now, your responsibility is to be able to understand how they work, how they operate, and participate. Participate in those forces. I said people in the church, and people go to church and all they pray about is the devil. They're binding, they're casting, they're binding, they're casting. If the Bible says, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world, that is the level where you can now recode. And people can do this in a spiritual. Some people have their experiences that are non-Christians. They have the experiences of how they've been able to recode their lives. And so they have their own experience. My own experience, I'm just sharing my own experience. My own experience is a Christian experience. But I've recorded my life. I recorded the content of my life, my faith and the confidence in something that is beyond earth, beyond the flesh, beyond what people can touch, but I can see and I can feel and I can believe there's a realm there and I can interact with that realm. And that realm, I use that realm to dominate what is happening on earth here. And so it's not that I'm in charge. No, it's spiritual forces in charge. I can tap into that realm and use those spiritual forces here so that I'm not victim to anybody. Not victim to any witchy. Not victim to any koko. Crying at me window. I'm not victim. Why? Because I know. And go again. Scripture says, whosoever is born of God overcomes the world. This is the victory that overcomes the world, even in our faith. Whosoever is born overcomes. That's my mindset. That's my overcoming mindset. It's a recording of my entire mindset and the way I think, and nurturing that faith, nurturing that faith on a moment by moment basis. So what do you think is happening to my life? I transform myself from a victim to my awakening stage, and now to the world where I'm recording myself is the world that is inside of me. It's a world that is inside. I keep telling people, I have my own Freetown. I have my own Sierra Leone. My country, my own country that I see is different from the country you see. I see what you do not see. The opportunities I see in this nation. What's possible, and people be turning their nose. The last time I was in the US and my family were there and were coming back and people were saying, are you going back? What are you going to do there? Because people believe, there are some people who just believe there's nothing good that can happen in Sierra Leone. And it's hopeless to come back to Sierra Leone. But it's crazy. That's not the Sierra Leone I see. it's the world within. The third stage is the world within. And finally, the fourth stage you can go in this process of becoming extraordinary. And the next stage you could do is the world you can change. Level 4 is becoming extraordinary. Becoming extraordinary. It's the world you can change. The world you can change. And it's interesting how I would look at majority of the stuff that is happening in my life, the things I would be bothered about, are things that have nothing to do with my family. If it really was just what I had to now contend with was just for my family, my wife, my kids, and my extended family, if that was all I had to deal with, I can sleep and wake up every day at 10 a.m. and then go to the beach and jog because I have paid my dues in life. I have paid my dues. I have paid my dues. I'm lettered. I am knowledgeable. I contain content and knowledge that can survive in any continent in this world. I've paid my dues. So I could live a quiet life, but it's no longer about me, myself, and my family. The fourth stage in becoming extraordinary, you believe in a world you can change. So for the last 32 years, this is what I've been doing. How can I nudge lives? How can I change lives? The world you can change. Once you get to that level, it's extraordinary. Whether it's Mahatma Gandhi, it's Mother Teresa, it's Martin Luther King, it's Nelson Mandela. It was no longer about him. It's about the world he can change. What a joy. What a joy. I hope I've inspired you a little today to be able to just nudge on. What stage are you in? Are you still in the denial stage, in the victimhood stage? Blaming your relatives, blaming the government, blaming the economy? Is that the stage where you are at? You need an awakening. If you're in the awakening stage, you're already aware. I want to nudge you. Press on. Press on, press on, press on. Because there's a recoding that is required. It's not just being aware. There's a recoding, different diet, different feed, different meals of content, of thoughts, of spirituality. The hours I spend preparing myself in prayer, in meditation, and I'm talking about deep spiritual meditation. But I still have the business to run. So I navigate both worlds. It's not like I'm just, I'm carnal. If people say carnal, let this guy, don't backslide. No, that's not what it is. That's not what it's about. I hope and I pray you'll be inspired today. Whatever stage you are, in those stages, you can move forward. From denial to awakening to recording yourself and to be the world changers, to be people who could look for the world that you can change. Stay with us. Hi, welcome back. Don't forget the JB Show is powered by Life by Design for your marketing and communications when results matter. Whether what you need is to design and deliver campaigns, to drive social change or empower communities, or maybe your need is to grow your customer base and drive sales in the face of stiff competition, you don't have to look any further. And we have the results to show. Call today 030-600-600 or get us at info@lbd.sl. Well, that's all we have for you on today's show. I'll just wrap up again with a message. You will be amazed to realize how much of what you become in life is right in your hands. In my hand, there's a souvenir that I have here because this is the first checkbook that was issued to me by a business I helped grow from 2009. It was a fledgling business, struggling. 2009. Only 5 staff. 1 branch office in some odd places in Babadori. By the force of moving through awakening, recording, and the world that you can change. This was the checkbook that was issued to me, and it was the first checkbook of the bank, ACTB Savings and Loans. And the code is there. It's account number 001. Account number 001. It was the first checkbook that was issued by the bank when it was established and got a license from the central bank to operate as a deposit-taking microfinance bank. Tell me what is not possible. Don't tell me I'm blaspheming. I'm doing this by the power that God gave me to transform not just my life, but to transform the life of my generation. Whosoever will may come. Don't forget that the conversation continues online. You could track us on Facebook and YouTube. The details are on your screen. On behalf of our sponsors and partners, Life by Design, AfriCell, RC Bank, AYV Media Empire, Inky Media, and Chicken Town, Sweet You Life, Sweet You Mortar, being your host. JAV, stay blessed.